The Padres make a sneaky good move. This has major implications for the 2025 season. We've got San Diego Padres news to talk about. What's going on, everybody? I am Christian Pedersen, back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning in. The season is almost here. The roster is being announced, and that gentleman you saw there at the beginning with the big smile, tons of energy, Jose Iglesias, he has made the roster as one of the bench players, and I want to talk about why I think that this is sneaky good, dark horse, major, like first domino to fall in the Padres' success story this season. And the season is not here, so hope does spring eternal until we play the first of 162. But hear me out. I think that things are looking up. I'm looking at this roster construction, and please go hit the subscribe button, because we've got videos out or coming out about all of the players that are making this roster, breaking down the bench right now, obviously, but we've got the starting lineup, we've got the pitchers, we've got everything for you. So hit that subscribe button. It helps me, it helps you, it gives you content all season long that we are going to be bringing. So back to Iglesias. I want to show you his stats, and let's talk about it. Look, hear me out. This is kind of this is not quite Charlie Kelly putting felt on a dartboard crazy conspiracy theory, but I think there's an A leads to B leads to C, couple options here that we can talk about. Obviously, hitting a $192 in spring is not fantastic. It's not anything that I'm being like, oh my goodness, he is picking up right where he left off last season. But you look at where last season was, a little bit of a renaissance for him, obviously. Did not play an entire season, but played enough of a, like, he didn't have a Linsanity. It was not 5 games where he just couldn't stop hitting home runs or something like that. That's a nice enough sample size to know that he is not on a regression trend in his career, and he is at the very least plateauing. And if he regresses to, somewhere within his career averages, perfect serviceable output from your utility infielder. A big problem with the Padres that they had this past offseason was loss just was coming on all fronts, and that included, though, people like Jurickson Profar, who were sort of the intangibles, and the people that needed that vibe and that, it doesn't necessarily show up entirely on the stat sheet, but it shows up in the results kind of input that sometimes you need in baseball. And, this guy right here, I mean, look at that. You've seen the videos of him dancing. You've seen the swag that he inspired a Mets fan base in under 6 months to make him a caricature of a dude. Like, he became infamous in New York with his confidence. And I'm not saying that, he exactly fills that hole that Profar does, but we're going to see him at short this season. We're going to see him at second this season. We're going to see him at third this season. We're going to see him maybe, I would not surprise me if he plays first once for some odd reason, or maybe an outfield. So, like, he will play so many different positions that he'll get like a fair amount of time out there on the field. And I think that he will be, a consistent enough player that you can look at the numbers that he's putting out and be like, okay, we're going to know within 20 to 30 games what we've got. And as long as this isn't father time finally catches up with everybody, Iglesias to me makes total sense as the savvy veteran utility guy who brings a good amount of energy, is infused into the lineup more than maybe your standard run-of-the-mill backup, because he has that ability to play so ubiquitously throughout the entire infield. 3 days out of the week. I'm getting lost in the sauce there. Let's talk about bigger picture, though. I think he checks that box entirely, but also, if in those 20 to 30 games of the Padres getting us a pretty good sample size, if this guy is hitting well, hear me out. Hear my crazy, here's the plus on him. And I will get to the negatives to prove I try to see things from all sides. But also, as I'm going through all this, drop a comment below on what you think. Is he the right choice? Is he the wrong choice? Do you like the bench? Do you think he should be starting? But hear me out, though. If, say, he can hit 285, 290, somewhere in that range where it's like, oh, whoa, okay, he could still have a nice little run in the tank. I would say that ever so slightly starts to put a little bit of pressure on Xander Bogaerts. Going from, shucks, we love him. He's great here. He's going to figure it out, to oh, well, if Xander's hitting 240, 260 again, and Iglesias is hitting 280, 290, do you start to talk about, and I know that this is a leap, but hear me out, baseball is a long season, things happen, this is not unprecedented, to connect all these dots here. The Padres' new ownership that took over in the offseason, the Seidler brothers that have now taken control have been publicly outward that they most likely will want to and or are open to offloading payroll. I don't think that there's any specific characteristics of they wanted to get rid of dead payroll or this or that or the other, but they said that just, hey, we are going to probably look to lower the overall operational costs of this team. And Xander is on that nebulous space if he's got a big contract. But if you've got a veteran guy who is doing the job now, do you want to try and shop him for some relief or a 5 guy? I don't know. Not even going to go into the specifics of the trade. But if Iglesias gets hot, to me, the upside is then you start to have a little sliver for hey, if we really want to roll the dice right now, Preller can go X, Y, and Z, make some things happen, and it gives you Xander as a trade bait. The downside, if this 192 is really 192 and he's not hitting, so he's a 35-year-old veteran that we are paying relatively little amounts of money compared to the big picture of who we are paying as an organization. And if this is a situation where he just isn't hacking it, great, we let him go. We don't have a ton of dead capital on this. It was not a wasted amount of time. He's not being given a starting spot. And I have, again, videos on everything going out. So people on the lineup that did get some starting spots that I have some issues with, a lot of it I love, some of it I don't. So hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of these videos. But having the pluses in this camp of everything that he could be in terms of just the perfect glue guy, emotionally speaking, to a decent, hey, more than serviceable major league backup, to great opportunity for trade circumstances to benefit overall the Padres if he's outright killing it. And the only downside is we got a cheap veteran that, it was Rafael for call on the Marlins. It was whatever. It was the end of the road or something like that. And it just was his time to part with the game. But I don't think we're quite there yet. I know that 195 is not fantastic numbers-wise, but I also, I don't think that this is a veteran struggling. I think this is a veteran taking his time, getting in the flow of things. And like I said, he'll figure out a rhythm. The Padres will figure out his workload. But once they do, I just really have a feeling, based off of what I have seen this offseason and how the Padres have functioned with these types of players who just have that flexibility and that versatility both on field and in personality, that they tend to amplify them here and work well. I just kind of have a feeling that this guy's going to have at least a very decent season and be then, though, the perfect guy of when the Padres were missing all the depth potentially coming into this season of, oh my goodness, we lose Ha-Seong Kim, we lose Kyle Higashioka, we lose We lose Profar. We lose. Go, 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 go. How we go from, oh man, we were so plush with this guy could take a day off. This guy could get a little bit banged up. This guy could go there, to now it's like, everybody's got to like hold still and stay healthy and all. If we start to just have some of that flexibility again, where like it said, it's just to keep guys healthy. You switch them. Hey, you go DH. Manny, just go DH for a day. Arraez, you go DH. This, there. Having the ability to just do that, to me, in the modern version of baseball, is such a leg up on teams because it allows you to really maintain and make sure that you have your guys all season long. And that's the key for the Padres from everything that I see going into this season, is that the Dodgers are going to be fantastic. They're going to always be competition. I think the Giants and the Diamondbacks didn't get any worse in the offseason. It's going to be a competitive division. Padres will most likely have to be a wild card team in the playoffs. But getting into the playoffs then with the team that we potentially have, I think we could. I think we could still have a very good, if not better, shot at the Dodgers than we did last season with what we have this season. Like I said, that starts with us having our guys healthy and functioning for as much of the season as is humanly possible. And if we can bring in a guy who's a veteran, who's a jack of all trades, and a guy who will happily do it and fits with our vibe and ethos as a squad, then I say that that is a fantastically good, sneaky signing for the Padres to fill out their bench with. Let me know, though, what you think. Drop a comment below, and also make sure you hit that subscribe button, like I said, to get access to all of the videos that we have released, that we are yet to release, that we are thinking about releasing. We're going to try and bring, if nothing else, emotional support all season long for you, the Padres fans who are tuning in. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you guys next time.